Hi guys, I'm Ibrahim Obando, an aspiring deacon. Why is masturbation wrong when it hurts no one? Many sex educators claim that there are health benefits to masturbation and teaching masturbation. They claim that it helps people cope with stress. It claims that it helps people feel good. It claims that it helps people explore with their identity. But is that all there is to our sexual being? I would say no. I would say it causes confusion, among young teens, among young adults, and even people in marriage. I think people struggle with masturbation. So I want to go through three reasons why I think masturbation, or why masturbation is wrong. So the first reason would be, it does not follow its intended purpose. And what do I mean by that? Let's try to break it down a little bit. Let's look at our body, how our body functions. Let's look, for instance, at our heart. The purpose of our heart is to pump that blood. That muscle works hard to circulate the blood within our body. And that is what works towards our well-being. Likewise, our lungs. When we breathe in air, our lungs oxygenates the blood, and then the heart pumps that blood through our being. It works for our well-being. Likewise, our stomach, when we eat, our stomach has these acids that break down the food that we eat, and then our intestines are able to extract the nutrients that our body needs for its well-being. And when all of these things are working properly and functioning correctly, we say we are a healthy person. Now, what happens when one of these organs stop working properly? You would say the person is sick, right? That is what happens. Now, the same thing happens with our sexuality, with our sexual organs. They have a purpose. Why do they exist? Why did God give us these organs? They have two ends to it. It's a procreative and a unitive end. What does that mean? Okay, procreative means that it is life-giving. It was given to us so that we could create life or participate with God in the creation of life. And then it's love-giving. It means that it brings us together in that spousal embrace. Now, does masturbation lead to that? I would say no. Even if everything is functioned properly in masturbation, all your organs are healthy and working properly, it will not lead to procreation. It will not bring forth life. So, it does not follow to its end. Does it lead to bonding? Does it lead to giving love to someone? Again, it does not. Why? Because we're just self-indulging. We're just seeking self-pleasure with our own organs. Now, what happens, for instance, if we look at eating? Eating is a pleasurable thing, and especially if you're eating something delicious like an ice cream or chocolate. It is pleasing to us. But if we start eating a lot of sugar or a lot of chocolate, what happens? You will get sick. The same thing happens with masturbation. So this leads me to reason two. It makes us a slave to lust. Oh, and what is lust? Lust is just a disordered desire for sexual pleasure, which is what masturbation tries to satisfy. That satisfy that sexual desire that we have. But let's look at the gospel. In the gospel, Jesus speaks and he says, you've heard it said that you've heard it said, that you shall not commit adultery. But he says, whoever looks at a woman with lust in the heart, he has already committed adultery. What is Jesus trying to teach us here? Here he's elevating the teaching of adultery. What is he doing? He's telling us, whenever you want to masturbate, you have to start imagining things in your mind so that you can arouse yourself and carry yourself to that emotional climax. Now, what happens when you can no longer instigate that with your mere imagination? It will lead you to start looking for other things. And I guarantee you it will lead you to pornography so that you can stimulate yourself. Remember the sex educators say that the brain releases these chemicals that makes you feel good. Okay, those chemicals are dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Now, these chemicals, yes, they do give you this feel good, but what will happen eventually is that you will have to start looking for more violent porn to stimulate you and to give you that same level of pleasure that you're seeking. And this will eventually lead you to become a sex addict or a porn addict. Now, what is wrong with pornography? What is wrong with it is, St. Pope John Paul II said, what is wrong with pornography is that it shows too little. you go, what do you mean it shows too little? I can see the person's body, I can see their genitals, I can see their everything. What do you mean it shows too little? Precisely that is what St. John Paul is saying. It does not show the person, it only shows the body. And what you're doing is you're separating the body from the person. We as human, we are social beings. And in order for us to get to know someone, we have to get to interact with that person. We have to speak with that person. For instance, right now, you can go on social media and you can start exploring and going on Facebook and on Instagram, and you can start finding out things about that person. You would know the things that she likes, you would know the clothes that she wears, you would know her birthday, you would know the music that she likes to listen to. But that will not lead you to know that person. It is only when you start building a relationship with that person that you will get to know what is it that makes this person lovable. What is it that this person truly believes in? What is it that makes this person happy? And these are things that you would only know when you get to know this person and realize that there is more to this person than just the body. And that's the problem with pornography. It separates the person from the body. And that is what makes us think of a person as an object. And that is what St. John Paul II wants to avoid in us. He doesn't want us to fall for that trap, that we start looking at person just as something that I could use for my own pleasure. But he wants us to start looking at a person as they truly are, a daughter of Christ. So now, what is the third reason that I would say that masturbation is wrong? We've been dealing with pornography, and what masturbation does, it creates an unrealistic expectation for your future spouse. Why do I say that? Because when you're masturbating and you're looking at these pornographic films, you start creating these fantasies in your mind and thinking this is what my sexual life will be when I get married. But truly what you're doing is you're setting up yourself for failure. And that is the sad thing. That is what Jesus wants to prevent us from, setting ourselves up for failure. We are coming in with all this baggage and filth into this relationship that we expect, these high standards, or we have these fantasies in our mind, and we expect our spouse, our future spouse, to fulfill those desires and those needs. And that's not possible. That is not possible. Our spouses cannot compete with those desires that you have created for yourself. So that is what Christ has been trying to teach us, that don't fall for the trap of thinking in your mind that you could, just by thinking in your mind, that how you can embrace, that leads to sin. So now, is this the only way that we as men can look at a woman, or a woman can look at men just through the lens of sex? No, there's more to it. And I've been alluding to it in saying that St. John Paul II wanted us to see in the person more than just that body. So, I remember, in my journey with Christ, I struggled a lot with lust. Whenever I would look at a woman, my mind would immediately go wild. And it was only through the graces I received in confession. I remember going to confession, and confessing these sins. And the priest there would tell me, whenever you see someone beautiful, give thanks to God, tell him, Lord, I glorify you for letting my eyes see such beauty in this world, and I thank you for that creation. Another thing I would do is I would always recur to our Blessed Mother, because I would want to keep those thoughts pure. I wouldn't want those thoughts to lead to other things. So I would always have a Hail Mary ready, and I would pray and I would thank God, for that beautiful person that is there, and I would pray for them. And that has helped me grow a lot, and has helped me to see that there is more to a person than just the body. They're not just a sexual being. They are a daughter and a prince from the kingdom of heaven. Now, that really helped me. It helped me especially in my relationship with my wife, because now I'm able to see her as it truly is. And it helped me to grow to become the man, I think, that God really wants me to be that son that when I embrace his daughter, I will lead us back to him. And I think that is what masturbation prevents us from achieving. You know, it sets us up from the beginning to fail. And Jesus doesn't want that for us. He wants more than that. He wants us to use all these desires that he's given us to the fullest of it, to give life and to give love. That is what Jesus wants for us. I really want to thank you for taking time out to watch this video. If you think that this video could help anyone, or you know anyone who is struggling with masturbation, share the link, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and hope to see you in the next video.